First thing that we do, my name's Craig Lockhart. I own a company called AutoMax Recruiting and Training. Several of our clients are in here. God bless you. We love you guys. One of the things that we do when we start a recruiting class with especially new salespeople is we try to put them through what we call a state change, to change their state of mind. About 2 years ago, I wrote a blog that says, well, I guess I could always sell cars. I mean, really, unless you're a dealer's son, no offense, Ryan. I mean, who in the room really thought they were going to sell cars when they started selling cars, right? It's like, it's the last, well, I guess I could always sell cars. So what we want to do initially is change their state. And we believe we change their state with some physical moves. We believe that our physiology, our body language, our tonality, our cells, our internal organs, who we are, what we consume, our physiology determines our psychology, how we think. Would you guys agree with that? Yes or no? Say yes. Yes.
But they can't.
All right.
Turn it on.
Our psychology then ultimately affects what? How we, starts with an A, act. Our physiology determines our psychology, which ultimately determines our actions. Right? Has everyone enjoyed AutoCon here so far? I mean, man, is this thing just off the charts, isn't it? Great. Okay, well, what I want you to do, I'm going to take you a little bit out of your comfort zones, and then we're going to welcome a very special guest here. So if everyone would please stand up, and some of you guys already know how to do this. Everybody stand up. I'm going to take you out of your comfort zones a little bit. Put your right hand up in the air like this. And wave it a little bit like this. Put your left hand down here. Shake it like you just don't care. All right, and then I'm going to go, yo, and when I say yes, we're going to slap our hands together. Yo, yes. All right, let's do it again. Yo, yes. Yo, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. All right, good. That's how we do it. Now let's welcome the legend from Las Vegas, Nevada, a very funny girl. Let's hear it for Barbara. Whoa.
We are all people who need people. All the luckiest people in the world. We're children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children. Automotive people, they're very special people. You're the luckiest people one very special person, maybe like Ernie. A feeling deep in your soul says you were half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people.
on your way out. He's a friend of mine, Grant Cardone.
Oh, please.
Barbara.
All right, how about a big yo clap for Barbara? Whoa! Yes! All right. Excellent. Do we need people? Grant talked about it this morning. Our human capital, our people are what it's all about. We can have internet, we can have BDCs, we can have everything. The guys that wash the cars up to the president of the dealership and everybody in between, nothing happens without those people. You gotta have somebody to push those buttons, answer those phones, and talk to your clients. It's absolutely imperative. I got a few people here I'm gonna introduce to you in a minute. When AutoCon asked me to do this, in an initial letter, they said bring a dealer to give you a testimonial, all right? So we happen to have 27 trainers across the country, so I put that information out to 27 trainers. We got a whole bunch of people that raise their hands. So I had to pick a few, and for various different reasons, I'm going to introduce those to you in just a minute. But I thought it was a good idea because none of these people knew each other. I thought it would be a good idea for us to go bond a little bit before the workshop. You know, so a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, I rented a cabin out in the woods. We went out in the woods, and there were 6 of us. We went out in the woods. Ryan was one of them. Adam, Sean, John, David. Who am I missing? Who else was with us? Who else was with us? Sean, John, David. Right, there were 6 of us, right? So we're out in the woods. I rent this cabin. This cabin's got 3 rooms, right? So Ryan, PhD. Ryan, PhD. Do you guys get that? Okay. Ryan comes to me and says, Craig, I got a real problem. I snore really badly. I said, oh, dude. I said, all right, well, I'll bunk in with you the first night, right? So the first night goes, next morning we come down from breakfast, my hair's standing on end more than it typically does. My eyes are all red. These guys say, dude, what's that going on? I said, man, this guy snores. I thought a chainsaw was coming through a forest. It was so bad. I stayed up all night watching him, right? So then Adam says, hey, look, it's no problem. I'll go ahead. I'm a heavy sleeper. It's not a problem. Next morning, come down, Adam's hair standing up. There's blood coming out of his eyes. It was crazy. It was horrible. He couldn't sleep. Same thing. Man, I had to stay up and watch him all night. It was crazy. Troy, same thing. Sean, same thing. David comes down. I think he'd be able to handle it. Same thing. Stayed up, had to watch him all night, right? So then John, the last guy, John, please stand up for a minute, would you? John Whitaker.
Hi, guys.
All right? So John comes down the next morning, so it's his turn to bunk in with Ryan. He comes down, all clean shaven, no problem. We go, dude, what's going on? He said, well, I had no problem at all. It was bedtime. I tucked him in, patted him on the butt, gave him a kiss goodnight, and he stayed up and watched me all night. All right, that's kind of how it happened, right, guys? A little justice there. But really, the point is this, sometimes we have to look outside the box. I hate to use the expression. We have to look outside of what we normally do to find a solution to a problem. Yes or no? Say yes. Yes. Right? We have to. Because it's not always right there in front of us. Right? Tuck him in, pat him on the butt, give him a kiss goodnight. He'll watch you all night. Right? It's very important. I want to introduce some people that are very, very important to me. In no particular order, Mr. Adam Barish. Adam's a dealer principal at Route 23 Honda in Pompton Plains, New Jersey. I get the routes mixed up. Route 46 Chevrolet in Bud Lake, New Jersey. Been a client of ours for a long time. Appreciate you very much. One word, I'm putting you on the spot here, but 2, 3 words. Why do you use a company? What do we bring to the table? Forget about it, and it's not a pitch, guys. This is not a pitch. But why do you use a company to recruit and bring in people?
I'm not an expert. I sell cars. I don't recruit people.
Right. Expert doesn't sells cars, cash register, not people. Right? Okay. I'm gonna teach you guys today. By the time you're done here, you're gonna know exactly what we do. Okay? And it's free. I say that out loud. Yeah, it's free.
I don't need to call you.
What happened? No, please keep calm. We're at your store next week, I think so.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Another good friend of mine, Mr. John Whitaker, made fun of him. John and I, we've known each other how long, dude?
Long time.
Right, a very long time, over 20 years. And John's probably the only person on earth that still knows me when I used to drink, which is over 20 years ago, right? We were talking at all, I think I probably had my last drink with you, so you saved my life.
Probably why you quit.
That's right. John's managing partner of Youngblood Automotive in Springfield, Missouri. Big store, been a client of ours really well, I started AutoMax 14 years ago. We've been blessed to hold over 11,000 of these recruiting campaigns, placed over 100,000 people in car dealerships in the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. And John and I, when I just first started, it was just me and newspaper ads, 14 years ago when you were running McIntyre Chevrolet in Akron, Ohio, and then progressed along. And we appreciate you, from your friendship and of course you as a client dramatically. Again, John, kind of the same question I ran back past Adam. Why?
I never got good at it. It was always a struggle in running an ad, and people come in at all kinds of different times during the day, and one manager's tied up, another manager's tied up. One guy gets to interview him, and then at the end of the day or the week, you all put your heads together and you stand there staring at each other going, well, what'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think? And then once you hire them, it's like, who hired this idiot?
Right.
So we never really could get it right. And by using you guys, it wasn't just the fact that it was time saving and convenient. It also brought a level of candidate to us that was enthusiastic and passionate about getting into the business.
Great.
Which made it a lot easier.
Right, and allows you to do, and I'm going to come back to you later in a couple of these guys. I'm going to engage probably the whole audience here in this training because there's a point to that.
I got something to add that I don't know if you know.
Please.
Is that 12 and a half years ago, you did a class for us, and Rob Winters was in the class. He was a deli owner that had wanted to change careers, and he's now the general manager of my Chevy store.
Right.
We should give him a round of applause even though he's not here.
Right, absolutely. Right. Now, and here's what he's done with that information. He doesn't necessarily need a AutoMax trainer in his store anymore because he's got a homegrown one. So what we do, what's the hardest thing? What's the first thing you got to do when you're looking to recruit people? You got to do what? Find what? You got to find them. You got to get them in your store. So now what we do for his dealerships is get them there, and he's got a guy homegrown, knows the process, takes him through it, and he doesn't need us anymore. It costs me a little money, but it's cool. Right?
You got a customer forever.
Customer for life. We all want customers for life. Yes or no? Say yes. Right? All right, excellent. And the last gentleman I'd like to introduce, and I want to just real quick on a couple trainers, and then we're going to get into training, okay? And get away from testimonials. But you guys asked me to do this, right? Okay, so. All right, and the next gentleman is Mr. Ryan Sotokoff. Ryan owns Stephen Toyota in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Thriving metropolis, middle of nowhere, and they're just doing a great job. A relatively new client of ours and very enthusiastic, and we've become real good friends. He's just a great guy. And Ryan actually prepared a couple things he wanted to go over, and if you want to,
Sure.
Okay, do it and do it fast.
Sounds great.
All right, brother.
Got a little bit of a speech here to read to everybody. What's the best way to get the movie in here? This disc.
While he's getting set up, what we're going to do, my goal here today is this, that each and every one of you leave this room to know when to recruit people. When's the right time?
Always.
Do I have enough? Do I have enough? Do I need more? Does the formulas, and I'll get into all that, does it all make sense? We're going to get into that a little bit. If you leave here with that in mind, if you leave how to recruit, where to go, because I'm going to open up what we do. A business that we've owned for 14 years. I'm going to teach you how to do that business. How to initially train them, we're going to spend some time on that because time permitting, we don't have all the time in the world. And most importantly, how to retain them. You know, I love to be in your store once a month, right? But there's a problem if I'm there once a month, right? Because you're blowing through them, you're not retaining them, and that's an issue. So we got to keep those good people. There's great talent out there, amazing talent out there, amazing talent. In 2008, 2009, things went south a little bit, yes or no? Yes. Yeah. Right? And when you guys weren't selling cars, guess what I didn't do? Couldn't recruit and train. How'd you like to be me, December of 2008? Hey, could you use some Greenpeace salespeople on your showroom floor right now? Click. Right? You're out of your mind, Locker. No, the answer is no, we don't. So what I thought, well, wait a minute, I'm down to 15 trainers. What's going on, man? My business is suffering. What did Cardone say to his wife? Do you guys remember that in the general session? Greatest opportunity of my lifetime. I rewrote a business plan. It's called 100 Trainers. Our outcome, my absolute goal is to have 100 automobile sales trainers, recruiters travel the United States of America. What does that do? What does that do to my competition? Crushes them. It eliminates them. I'm a very competitive person that does not like competitors. Okay, so they'll be gone. Why can I go find 100 people right now? Why? Why? There's good people. There's top talent everywhere. Look at the talent in this room. There's top talent everywhere. Take advantage of it. It's not going to last forever. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it, and we're going to get into that here in a minute. Mr. Sotokoff.
So I've got a little bit of story. It's a real-life testimonial as to how my business got to become married to AutoMax and his business, essentially. My name is Ryan Sotokoff. I'm from Harrisonburg, Virginia. Harrisonburg is in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley, about 45 minutes from West Virginia, about an hour and 45 minutes from Washington, D.C. That's where I live. My family owns Stephen Toyota. My father is Stephen, and I have 3 younger brothers, and we're all in the business. And my father's been with Toyota for close to 40 years now. We've had Stephen Toyota for about 20 years as of January of this year. I'm a proud graduate of Northwood University out of Midland, Michigan, and that's where I received my associate's degree in management and my bachelor's degree in business administration. All that being said, my family happens to excel at selling cars. Every single meal I've ever had in my life and my family's life has come from the automotive business and vehicle sales, so we're pretty dedicated to that. My wife and Lindsay and my 21-month-old daughter support me as our new general manager of my own family's business, Stephen Toyota. I'm also not afraid to state my weaknesses and our weaknesses as a team. Once you identify a problem, the first step to identifying it is to admit, and that's the part of finding the solution as well. Stephen Toyota has always struggled with hiring and training new salespeople and employees. During my first month as general manager, earlier this year, my brother Corey, who's our general sales manager, also wanted to learn more about the business. We called on a good friend of ours and general manager of McGeorge Toyota, Bob Farlow, to see if we could spend a few days with him in Richmond, Virginia, which is about 2 hours away from us. As my brother Corey was wandering throughout the dealership, he kept hearing loud cheers and loud clapping from a group inside conference room at the business.
Yes.
The noise drew Corey to the conference room where the curiosity drew him, and this is how he learned of AutoMax. Corey was surprised to find out what AutoMax was, and that the noise being created was from the senior instructor, Mr. Sean Stallhut, who's standing in the back of the room here. What was taking place in that conference room was a training course for new hires. And to make a long story short, the #1 best idea that my brother Corey left from Bob Farlow and McGeorge Toyota was finding out AutoMax and Sean Stallhut. Once Corey came back to our business, Stephen Toyota, we called AutoMax to invite Sean to come to our store. An attempt to try to describe the never-before-seen situations that followed Sean to Stephen Toyota, Sean screened and interviewed what looked like about 50 qualified applicants for our sales rep positions. We've never seen that in our history of attempting to hire. Sean then worked his magic to find the individuals that were willing to commit to the 300% rule. The 300% rule is a combination of 100% honesty, 100% integrity, and 100% commitment to the dealer. Stephen Toyota and AutoMax share in the same goal of hiring and training highly motivated, well-trained, no bad habit salespeople and other employees. This is where the class began, and this is also where I was first able to meet Mr. Sean Stallhut. The seminar that began had 2 purposes. For one, everybody was to benefit by the wonderful training by Sean, and the second goal was to again split the group in half so we could have a more manageable new hire team. Apparently, I personally was the first general manager to go through Sean's class, and I was very happy to learn many new tools that I also can utilize to keep myself moving forward in the business. Even though it was for green peas and rookies, I took a lot away from it as well. It turned out that I was able to hire 13 new employees. This is the largest single hire group in our dealership's history. The great part was that we were able to staff other departments throughout the dealership. We appointed the new hires to the sales positions, receptionist positions, BDC, finance department, and parts and service. And again, to make a long story short, AutoMax is our solution for the problems that we had, and Stephen Toyota is very happy to continue this valuable relationship in the future. What I kind of find funny is when I was first talking to Craig and planning all this, he was very adamant to tell me, ask me to speak his dealer testimonials. He didn't want me to sell or talk up AutoMax too much. And to tell you the truth, I kind of laughed on the phone, and I said, Craig, but that's impossible. Because how am I gonna share my story if I can't help it by selling this AutoMax and Sean Stahl? So, Sean, he's here. Furthermore, I have an opportunity that I made a video of other people that Sean hired and went through the class. So I was gonna let them let you take their word for it instead of mine and Craig's, and show you this quick video.
This is very interesting because you can do this in your dealership. What you're about to see can happen in your dealership and you can do it yourself. You don't have to hire a third-party person like AutoMax or anyone else. You can do this. Also, one thing, while we get this thing going, one thing I'm going to end with, but I want to reiterate right now. I'm going to be we're obviously recruiting new trainers, additional trainers to get to that 100. We have 27 now, so I got some work to do. Right? Do you guys know a recruiting company I could? So, I hold a class. It's 7 days long that new trainers have to go to before they come to your stores. This is an open invitation to anyone in this room. Anyone in this room. You can come, it's in Atlantic City. You're not allowed to go to the casinos while you're there, but it's in Atlantic City. You're welcome to come. You can spend a day, 3 days, 5 days. I don't care. You're welcome to come. I will teach you exactly what I teach my recruiter trainers that they pay a lot of money for, right, David? Sean? For free. I mean, you gotta pay your way there, pay your hotel, but I will give you every single secret, if you would be, on exactly how we do things and how we get the results that we get. And that's an open invitation to anyone, or anyone that you know that's a dealer. I don't need any more
Greg, I've
competitors.
said this before, but is it worth our time or hiring somebody to do that? We just come back and hire you all the time. And we just did this for Chevy, which I bought 3 weeks ago. You know, and this is every time I've hired this. We had 40 good applicants that you kind of went through and vetted. We had 20 people that showed up to the interviews that my staff then took over. We ended up with 12 people in the class that my guy taught that had been through the system. And we ended up with 8 good recruits that have had rookies on the floor. And every time I've had them, it's 50, 60 people that are showing up at the store. And like you said, if you're coming like in a week or two, you're going to do the class and the training.
Right.
And if you want to give out our information later, you're welcome, if you're in the New Jersey area, come and see how this thing goes down and the people that show up at the store and the quality of the recruits. You know.
Thank you for that. That'd be cool too if you guys want to see it in action. But really, I mean, it's, you know.
You work too hard. Every time I try to get a hold of you, you're having one of these 7-day training classes.
Yeah.
I get an 11:30 at night call.
Right. Well,
Brother, I'm really tired. I don't want to go.
Well, it's important, guys, but what occurred, don't talk about. Right? Well, I mean, really, where is it? If it's not for the human flesh and the people, the human capital in your dealership, we're screwed. We're screwed. The guys that are in the room, the dealers in this room, understood that in 08 and 09, and they're excelling today. This guy, I won't mention a number, this guy, this dealer, John Whitaker, I won't tell you the number, but I guarantee you 95% of the dealers in the country would absolutely trade August net with him, and he's not happy with it, to say the least. All right? Why? Because he's on top of his people. He's on top of his training. And he understands that that is the real capital of his dealership. Right? The bottom line at the end game is all the money him and his partners get to split up and buy a bigger boat. You want a bigger boat, right, dude? Right? But he's upset over a number that anyone would trade off like in a minute. All right? So the guys that make it are the guys that are going to understand that human capital. Are we ready to show that? Great. Real quick video. Kind of give you a feel for what's available to you. Or not.
Or not, let's see.
let's go into this. David, if you would, move it to the first slide. Let's get into it. The decision, and no, I'm not talking about LeBron James, and let's go to South Beach, right? That's a Clevelander too. I'm originally from Cleveland, so. The decision to hire, right, it's baffled me. Well, I've seen formulas, crazy, just, really crazy formulas to break down how many ups per day and traffic and this and that and another thing. I've seen formulas. Seasonal hire, reactionary hire, where do all our people go? Right, all kinds of decisions are made. I don't believe in any of those decisions. Who's familiar with the actual law, economic law of diminishing returns? All right, law of diminishing returns, it's a little complicated, but there's 3 stages in it. The first stage says that when you input something into a constant, and I'll give you an example here in a minute, into a constant, what you input will increase your output. The second stage is when you input more, the output will equal the input. The third stage is when you input, your output will actually start to diminish, all things staying constant. Let me give you an example. If this was a room of dirt, okay? If this was, or your property at your dealership, your dirt, okay? And you hired a kid, you wanted to plant trees. You hire one kid, you have one piece of dirt, this is your dirt, you have no more room to work with, that's your constant. You hire a kid to plant trees, he works 4 hours, that's another constant. He plants 4 trees in those 4 hours in this constant area. You guys with me so far, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, now the next day he shows up, he brings another kid with him, you're gonna hire him too. So now you got 2 kids, same area, he's got 4 hours to work with, he plants 4 as well, so now you got how many trees? 8 would be the answer. You need to know math to sell cars. Third day, dirt's same amount of dirt, he brings another kid, you hire him. Now, this is where your input equals your output. It's going to start to diminish a little bit because now they're each going to do 3, but you end up with 9 more trees that day. You guys with me on that, yes or no?
Yes.
Now, ultimately, what's going to happen? Somebody give me the answer. If that hiring procedure kept going, what would ultimately happen? Because the constants are the same. Numbers of hours worked and the amount of dirt. What's going to happen?
Run on dirt.
Run out of dirt, right? Everyone's going to get angry and everyone's going to quit. You're not going to plant any more trees, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. Now, let's take that to a deal, and you can apply this to anything. It's a law. All right, look it up. Okay, this is a very important in your hiring decisions. In my opinion, this is the #1 most important thing in your hiring decision. Don't hire for any other reasons other than the law of diminishing returns. I don't care if it's tax, service advisors, parts people, everybody, office staff, everybody. Hire salespeople, input raises output. Hire more, it's going to equal it. Hire more, it's going to go down. Because why? You only have so much inventory, so much dollars to spend on marketing and advertising, and so much dirt, right? How can you change that constant short term? What can you change? As a dealer, what can you change? To bring on more people to be able to keep going up instead of those margins diminishing. What can you change?
Increase the quality of the person.
You can increase the quality of the person. You could add, now what else could you do? You could add what?
More dirt.
You could add more dirt. You want to buy another piece of property? It's pretty expensive, but you could do that, yes or no? That changes the constant, correct? Right? You could buy more, what? You can't sell dirt, so what could you buy? More inventory? You could change that variable, right? You could change that. You could spend more money in advertising and marketing, right? You'd sell more cars, bring on more people, correct? But at that point, you've got to look at your net dollars, right? Because there ain't nobody in here doing it for fun. Well, we have fun. But at the end of the day, a dealer wants to make net profit. So when that margin starts to diminish, he's got to look at it, wait a minute, I don't want to flood my floor. I don't want to flood my floor. It's going to cost more money. I can add an additional manager. That's another expense. So you guys know, you guys see your statements. You know how to read your statement. So you got to see by adding more people where that starts to diminish. But here's a variable that we don't think of, in my opinion, enough. A shift. Add another team. Why don't we add another team? Each one of your dealerships, do you have a guy that's ready for management, thinks he's ready for management, and if you don't make him a manager, he's going to blow out eventually, yes or no? Ultimately, they're going to leave. right? Let's make that guy a team captain. Let's, instead of killing these guys for 65, 70 hours a week, let's put them on a real person's work schedule. Can we do that? Can we put them on a 42-hour-a-week work schedule and then expect them to prospect or develop their client base when they're outside of the dealership? Yes or no? Can we do that? Of course you can. Is that going to take more, give you the ability to get more staff? You bet. This young man right here is running this dealership with 10 salespeople, Toyota dealership, selling 180 cars a month. Right? Those guys were working some hours, yes or no? They were also making some money, yes or no? He brings us in there, right? Now he's got more salespeople. We did the numbers last night. He's going to add $1 million over the course of next year. $1 million. That's a bigger boat. Why? I need more people. Bam! Make it happen. And you need to go against them. You need to do it again. Because you can absolutely put everyone in your area, hopefully there's nobody in your area in this room, out of business. Unfair competitive advantage over everybody in your dealership because you know how to staff a dealership and staff your store. Does it make sense, yes or no?
Yes.
All right, you guys with that? Next one, David. We're not talking about flooding the floor here. Go ahead and put them all up, David, if you would. How much time salespeople and salespeople have at the dealership when we're working bell to bell? We can prospect. We can have them prospect. We can Facebook, Twitter. We can have them do all that. But real prospecting, when they're there bell to bell. When they're there bell to bell. Have them go to lunch. No, you're not. Get a cheesesteak, sit at the desk. Roach Coach, 11:30 Roach Coach run, right? Don't eat that food off of that truck. That's ridiculous. You go into a coma. Your wholesale staff is in a coma in 15 minutes. Right? They slam down whatever comes off. You're eating food off of a truck that pulls into your dealership. Come on. Right? Doesn't make any sense. Right? And then 2 hours later, it's a cheesesteak and everybody's in nap time. Did you sell more cars when you had more staff? Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Right? So let's find a way to get there. Do it yourself. I'm going to show you how. But get there. Put some people to work. I'd like to be part of lowering the unemployment rate in the United States of America. Anybody in on that deal? I'd like to be part of that. we got dealers. Would you consider yourself a rural dealer?
We are.
All right.
We're a big dealer in Small
Right.
City.
You kill. I live 10 minutes from a Toyota dealership where I live outside of Atlantic City. You double him. You kill him. Why? Because he's in the dark ages when it comes to people. Nice. How to recruit. Okay, so if you made it just, okay, Craig, I'm in. I need people. So I'll throw an ad in the newspaper. Don't do that. Don't do that. Honey, your unemployment's running up. You know, it's been 3 years. There's an ad. What are you going to get? Come on. No newspaper. Oh, I'll throw an ad on Craigslist. The grand total about Craigslist, okay? Craigslist in California. Anybody from California in there? Right? Rocks. You need a lot of people with Craigslist in California. Right? Try it on the East Coast. Sucks. Here's another thing about Craigslist. You have competitors where you're at in California?
Of course.
Right? They see you running ads for salespeople. Right? They're going to flag you. That ad's going to get ghosted, and no one's going to see it but you. Everyone understand that and hear that?
Yeah.
Be careful. And when you're at, what is it, 50, 75 bucks for a Craigslist?
75.
75. You in the Bay Area?
Sacramento.
Okay. Right, so it's not free, and it can get ghosted, and you won't even know about it. Just no one will show up. No one will answer the ad. All right, I'll use my Craigslist account, or my Career Builder account. All right, that's fine. And I'll get to that a little bit on how to really tweak that and how to really use that. But now, let's say you get some people, right? And in the ad, you got call Mr. Hire, 555-1212, right? Only one or two things can possibly happen. They're going to do what? They're either going to pick up the phone and do what? Call. And what are they going to ask? What are they going to ask Mr. Hire when they call about the job that you're advertising on Craigslist, Career Builder, in the newspaper? What are they going to ask, Scott Klein?
They're going to ask if you're still hiring.
Still hiring, yes I am. What else are they going to ask?
How much? How much can I make?
How much can I make? What are the hours? What are the benefits? Who's in control of that conversation, you or them? right? You can't close what you can't control. If you think a job applicant is not a client, you're out of your mind. It's an internal client. As important as your external clients. And until we, as an industry, understand that, we will absolutely just tread flipping water. Right? I got a little gym in my house at home, you know, P90X and this and that. Right? And when you get 60, you gotta work. So, right? And I hate that treadmill. I end up going nowhere. Right? But that's what you're gonna do if you keep doing this kind of thing. So, okay, here, you call Mr. Hire, right? If I call you, if I get a business card from all of you, and I call you Monday, what are the chances, percentage-wise, you're gonna pick up the phone and take my call? Somebody give me a percent.
52%.
You're right, 2%, 10%. Let's say it's 50-50. All right? Now let's say I'm a job applicant. Right? Well, Craig, they'll answer it more if my name's in if my name's in that newspaper, they're going to answer that phone because, you know, my name's in the ad. Right? Do you guys get busy at the dealership, yes or no?
Yes.
Do you run out of time? Is there no time? Brittany says, there's no one's in here named Brittany, is there? Okay, cool. All right, Brittany, the phone receptionist says, hi, thank you for calling ABC Motors. You're calling about our super fantastic, really far out great sale? Oh, you're calling about the job? Right? Oh, Mr. Hire, yeah, hold on please. Mr. Hire, you got to call on line 1. Take a message. Right? You're a job applicant. Are you going to call back, yes or no? If you're a client, you wouldn't, would you? Take a message? What are you kidding me? So don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so they come in. They come in. Before we get to that, let me do, Jim, I gotta give you some cards. Let's go back to a minute to how they hire. These are real life situations. I'm not making any of this stuff up. So Jim, this is stuff we go through every day. This is real world stuff. I'm not making this up. So Jim, how many committed, well-trained salespeople could you use on your showroom floor right now? 3, right? How'd you arrive at 3?
We've got 3 open, 3 desks.
Got 3 desks. Got 3 desks, right? That sounds silly. What would be the answer to have, I got 3 desks? What would be the answer?
Get more desks.
Buy more desks. How much money is he going to make over the next 12 months based on his hiring practices? $1 million. How much does a desk cost?
Well, that's the
Oh, do the math. All right. Tom, I gave you 1, right? So Tom, how many committed, well-trained salespeople do you need at your showroom floor right now?
4.
4. How'd you arrive at the number 4?
That's how many we normally run with.
That's how many we normally run with. How you been doing normally? How's your normal business? How was your normal business? It was profitable, but what are you now? More profitable. Anybody want to be more profitable in the room, yes or no? Yes. Right, I gave you 1. How many committed, well-trained salespeople do you want on your showroom floor right now?
5.
5. How'd you arrive at 5?
That's how many we need to handle the floor traffic and internet leads.
Right? Makes sense, right?